Hi, guys. This is Chris Beck. Thanks for tuning in on the walk off with Scott Belford and Adam Mack. See you this year in Toronto.
So pleased to be joined by catcher for the Toronto Blue Jays organization, Chris Beck. Welcome to the walk-off, man. Thanks so much for taking the time.
Hey, Scott. How you doing? Thanks for having me.
Good, buddy. I saw a little Instagram photo you had up in your story there of you and your girl, and it said future wife. Are you newly engaged, my man?
It's coming. It's coming close. We've been
It's
together, high school sweethearts. Been together going on 6 years now. It's time to make a move for me.
nice. Attaboy.
Hey
Yeah, no,
man,
I know. It's funny.
if you get that ring before you sign your big contract, then you don't have to get as big a rock, right? So
That's true. Oh man, saving some money right there.
exactly.
There you go. Well, we're throwing out congratulations, Chris. By the way, man, big congrats on getting the call up to big league spring training, dude. That had to have been so exciting.
Oh, Scott, it was amazing. Call was, I was preparing the whole off season for this, and I'm just glad to be a part of such a great movement we got going on here in the Blue Jays organization. Guys are working hard. They're playing for a World Series, and I'm just glad to be a part of it.
And I know you were just reassigned here at the end of last week before we got a chance to talk to you here. But I am super curious what that vibe was like going into big league spring training. What was the atmosphere like when you walked in? Because I know you kind of came in and things were already a little bit in the swing of things.
Yeah, so when I came in, everybody welcomed me with open arms and stuff. We just got right back into work. Didn't really miss a beat. Just hopped right in. I've been ready. I was ready before I got here, so I'm glad I made that decision. I didn't slow down or nothing, but great atmosphere. Guys are great. We're playing to win a World Series, like I said, and it's nothing but a dream to just be a part of it.
I know things are up in the air right now. I mean, we are making progress, but it's still the middle of a pandemic. Have the Jays kind of mentioned to you where you might wind up? Are you possibly going back to Vancouver or New Hampshire? Do you know still question marks or what's up?
Yeah, so after spring training last year, I was supposed to break with the Double A team, but
Yep.
Circumstances change. All
Yeah,
I
of
can do is
course.
just stay ready, and it is what it is. Wherever it is they send me, I'll be ready to go.
Of course you will, my man. So you've been catching now for what, 5 years, 6 years?
It's like my third full. I would say Dunedin and Vancouver, and my last year in college were my. So this would be my fourth year.
Your fourth year, because that's what a lot of people might not know about you is you actually changed position after high school to catcher. What inspired that move?
So that's just like what they projected me as, and I think it was a great decision on my part. I really embraced the role, and I don't have any sort of regrets. I love where I am. I love where I stand as a player and what I bring to the field as a catcher. So I think it was a great decision.
Well, there's definitely a mental part of the game that catchers are dealing with that maybe not every position does, because there's a lot on a catcher's plate, especially these days, right? Between managing the rotation, going over opponents' stats and analytics, and you're coming up with a plan for this pitching staff, but you still got to worry about your game defensively and offensively. How do you manage your time? Like, what does your routine look like day to day during the season? And then how does that differ in spring training? Because I'm sure you're very busy with bullpen sessions and stuff like that too.
Yeah, yeah. So spring training and the season has its, there's a couple common things, but for the most part, the catcher role, you got to prepare yourself and prepare your pitcher as best as you can. Whether that is, it's all sorts of things. Whether it is reading scouting reports, going over scouting reports, whether it's the opposing team or just your pitcher itself on the plans of attack. Also, getting my hips right, getting my body to move right in order to perform well defensively. Also, every day work on the swing. Regardless if you're playing or not. Just try to maintain ready on all aspects of the game. Really, it's all about preparation in this game, and then once the first pitch starts, it's all about just letting your natural ability and your preparation take over. So, yeah, most of my time is all preparing right before that first pitch to be like fully ready as I can.
I love that mentality of just being prepared. When you are preparing what are you going over? Is it mostly the opposing batters and stuff like that, so that you know what you're calling with the pitcher? Like, what goes into the preparation of a catcher?
Yes, so we'll go over the lineup. Even guys that come off the bench, uh, more or less on how we're gonna attack according to who's on the mound. How can we exploit our strengths against their weaknesses? And really, that's all it is. After that, it's just about executing the actual pitch and getting my position, getting my pitcher the right pitch call that we need for this specific moment or specific hitter. Really, it's all about execution. So that's all we can do is prepare. Like I said, prepare for every single hitter, and not have one pitch in the game where we don't know more or less where to call. We should have the exact idea of what to call every single pitch.
You just want to avoid feeling like you're kind of guessing mid-game, I'm guessing, eh?
It's exactly no guessing, no guessing here, Scott.
So you're a Miami boy, correct?
Yeah,
Are you bilingual, Chris? You speak Spanish, correct?
perfectamente hablo español.
There you go, buddy. Number one, it's one of the coolest things about baseball is how it is. Baseball has its own language, but it also has like two main languages that are, all the players are working with here. With so many Latin American players and Spanish speaking players, have you found that being able to be bilingual has helped you as a catcher? Have you found that you've developed a little bit closer relationship with some of the pitchers because you are so versatile linguistically?
Yeah, no doubt. Some of the Hispanic guys, they tend to be a little shy just because their English isn't proper. And I love to be that middleman to where I can teach them how to say stuff or when to say stuff. Two, I also try to preach to them to not be shy. And to the best way for them to learn is to speak it. And then mostly, I just love being able to be that guy to help others. Communicate to each other because it can be so easily like misinterpreted where some guys don't talk to each other just based off shyness, based off whether they don't want to make a mistake speaking the language.
It's funny because one thing that was brought up to us, we talked to, he was a member of the Canadian national team and he was playing winter ball, AAA winter ball down in Mexico. And he was talking about that he had played with guys in the minor league system that didn't play near as well. And then when he went down and played in their home court, down in where they were comfortable, their comfortability made them 2 times the ball player. So
Yeah.
I'm guessing just trying to make a guy comfortable goes a long ways.
Oh, huge, Scott. It's huge. Uh, being in a situation like this where there's immense amount of pressure coming from everywhere, you don't want to have any pressure inside your clubhouse. You want to be free. You want to be yourself, perform, and just play this game that everybody here loves. So yeah, it's a big thing. Communication's huge, especially in a clubhouse. So yeah, I embrace that role a lot. I love helping guys communicate with each other. I love being able to communicate with the English speakers and the Spanish speakers. And, eventually we got guys here that you see year to year, they just get better in English. Next thing
Yeah.
you know, you're just speaking English.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
It must be satisfying kind of knowing that you are that bridge between those type of players, right? Like,
Yeah,
that's a
it's
big
awesome.
role, man.
I love it. I love it. I embrace it. And, I wouldn't have it any other way.
So I got a kick out of this, my man. You show up to spring training and your bats say Chris Wreck on them.
Oh, God. Yeah, thank God they only messed up one set of orders, but hey, they sent over brand new orders. We got bats for the whole year, so no
That's awesome.
complaints.
Well, what I love too is you were no diva. You're like, oh, I can fix this. Give me a Sharpie.
Oh yeah,
That's great.
yeah. I'm spoiled right now. Thank God, I got a lot of stuff here that I only dreamed of having. So yeah, once I got that bat, it's okay. I could deal with some adversity, feel a little Sharpie, and
So I know there's going to be a lot of listeners that don't know this and will enjoy this little tidbit, but you and Alek Manoah, you've known each other since you were kids, right?
oh, elementary school. Yeah, I've seen him
Wow.
grow up, become the horse that he is now.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's amazing. His family is practically my family. His older brother is, just like a brother of mine. So yeah, I love it. it's a blessing that me and him are a part of such a great organization.
Yeah, and that's so cool that you've kind of got to come up together and watch each other improve as ball players. Alek obviously had an incredible spring training this year. I know he was reassigned with you here a few days ago. Have you caught him yet this spring? Have you noticed what have you noticed for improvements this year?
So coming in, I was catching him the whole off season, preparing both of us. And coming in, I knew he was going to be special. He was really hungry. He has no plans to stay in the minor leagues. He wants to be part of the big league team, which he his stuff, man, it's gonna play. It's gonna play, and his attitude on the mound, it's on a different level. He's gonna be a great addition to this team, and I'm so happy for him. He deserves it.
That's great, man. Now I know we're going to go back to your history a little bit here. You've played college ball in Maine, so cold weather is no new thing to you, right? You have been north of the border playing with Vancouver. Have you been to Toronto yet?
I have not been to Toronto, but I really, really want to go.
Yeah, man, get on it. No.
So yeah, the cold, I've been around the cold, been around the hot. I could deal with some weather changes.
Did you enjoy Vancouver when you were there?
Oh man, it was amazing. It was amazing coming from University of Maine to, it's a really cold atmosphere, not a lot of fans, but when I got to Vancouver and I saw those fans and just the atmosphere, Canada's fans are so awesome. No matter what I did, mess up or not, the fans were behind you. It was great. It was such an amazing moment in my life.
Yeah, that's really cool. It's been eye-opening because I didn't know a lot about the Vancouver Canadians before we started doing this podcast even. And the more guys we talk to, the more we've kind of realized that it's like as you become a member of the Toronto Blue Jays organization, Vancouver seems to be the first time you really feel like a pro because you're playing in such a great stadium with Nat Bailey Stadium and the fans. I know Joey Murray kind of put it. He said that people don't know who you are, but they know you play for the Vancouver Canadians. And he's like, it was just really cool to kind of have that recognition.
Oh, it was so amazing. Outside of the field, people might, like JoJo said, they might not know you by name, but they know they've seen you in the stadium, and they'll come right up to you and say, hey, you play for the Canadians. They're so excited, the whole team. It's amazing.
They're like, is this the Chris Reck?
Oh man, we got clubbies and coaches and everybody's playing around with me. This name, we'll see if that wears off or not.
Yeah, we'll see how long you're Chris Reck for. That's right. So obviously, and I already kind of know how you're going to answer this question because there's only one way to answer this question, but I'm going to ask it to you anyways. As a player, obviously all you can do is concentrate on what you can control and work on getting better. But when you look at this team's catching depth in the Blue Jays organizations, it is loaded with talent. How do you kind of approach your game mentally to not worry about who's ahead of you on the depth chart or who's pushing from behind and just stay focused on you?
Yeah, so my with my career in baseball, I've gone through a lot of experiences. I ask a lot of questions. I'm in full support of all the catchers and all the teammates that I have here in Toronto. There's a lot of space in the big leagues for everybody, although we all want to play for the Blue Jays, of course.
Yeah.
But hey, like you said, control what we can control. Come on and work hard every day, and still root for your teammates, even if they are your competition. It's okay, because if you do well, they do well. You keep a good environment. It'll all play out itself, and you just gotta be okay with that. But yeah, I'm excited. It's a good group of catchers, and if one person is really good, everybody strives to be that good. It's not everybody's just an average player. We're all trying to be elite athletes, and it's the way to go.
Man, I really like that mentality, the idea of just constantly having your teammates back, even though they may be technically competition for you right now, but in the long run, there's a lot to be said for being a good teammate.
Exactly. Yeah, because at the end of the day, outside of the field, we're people, and it's all about having the relationships with them. So translate that over to the field, and good things happen. Good things happen to good people, and that's what you got to do. You can't be a bad teammate no matter what. I could go a week without playing. It's fine. I'm still rooting for whatever it is that's catching. It's
Hmm.
perfectly fine with me. So yeah,
Yeah, man.
my route's gonna come, whether it's different or the same. It's all right.
Love it.
Just keep working hard, and I'll stay ready.
I love that, buddy. Well, we're taking a look at the mental side of the game here. When it comes to baseball, it might be the sport where players need to deal with slumps every single year. Every single player, it doesn't matter how talented, how good, slumps come and slumps go. Um, so I'm kind of curious, when you're in a slump, what do you do to get out of it? Have you had a prolonged slump? And what was your process for breaking out of it?
Yeah. So the first one came in Vancouver. So I'd say like my first 10 games, I was in like 400, and I was on top of the world, and I thought going to Toronto this year. That's just my immature college mind thinking. And then I fell into, I think I went like 1 for 19 or something like that. And,
Right.
I went really low mentally, which, it hurt me, but I'm glad it happened so early in my career because, like you said, it's going to happen whether you like it or not. But yeah, I grew out of it, and the preparation of it is just keep grinding. Don't give up working hard just because you're struggling. That's when you got to work the hardest. And just know it's a long season, a lot of games. It's okay if you go for 4 over 10. It's all right. You just keep working, and eventually it'll play itself out.
It's funny that baseball has to deal with so many slumps, the players, but is also such a numbers driven game where analytically, like you go 0 for 10 at the plate, which every single batter has done, right? But all of a sudden, you're literally watching your batting average go take a big dip sometimes, especially if it's closer to the beginning of the season. It must be tough at times to keep it in perspective and not panic, right?
Yeah. So definitely cannot panic. And it's gonna happen. You see it around the league. Guys will be hitting one something, and then you see them at the end of the year and they're hitting high twos. Maybe
Yeah.
threes. It all, like I said, Scott. It all plays itself out throughout the season. You just can't give up on trying and working hard. The moment you just give up on yourself is when it's never gonna get better. So just keep busting, keep trying to win ball games, and as long as you try to help your team win, those numbers will show up itself. You just got to play your game.
100%, my man. Let's go behind the plate now. When you are catching a pitcher, and let's say a base stealing threat gets to first base, how does your mentality change and how does your approach to the game change?
So basically, my mentality when there's a runner on first is that he's going. No matter who it is, you just got to stay ready. But at the end of the day, it's all about working on this hitter, and then that'll be the secondary thing. Just make sure you're ready to help your pitcher out and not let this guy get into scoring position. But it's also at the same time trying to help your pitcher out and execute the pitch that we need to throw at this very particular moment for the hitter. Too much mind can be spent on the runner on first, but as a catcher, that's your thought definitely, because that'll save a pitcher's ERA, save a pitcher's career if you could just keep guys off second base.
That is number one, that I love that response, but it's really interesting to me that you are also worried about your pitcher's numbers in that case, right? Where you're like, honestly, it is a big deal having that extra run on the ERA. It is a big deal, adding that extra 90 feet when having a guy go from first to second. So when you're looking after your pitchers like that, it must go a little bit of a long ways for them as well, right? Like they're like, well, this guy's got my back, so damn rights I've got Chris Rex back. Yeah.
Well, yeah, definitely. All these guys as catchers, we gotta be like a family, with the pitchers, and yeah, you want them to come off the mound every night and come up to you and say, "Hey, thanks, man. Thanks for helping me out, helping me have this great game." Because at the end of the day, it takes both of us to be
Yeah.
on the same page and execute and have a good night. Same thing when it goes bad. I take blame for some stuff, It's a two man thing. We got to be on the same page. When we do good, when we do bad, it's both of us. So yeah, we got to build those relationships because you want guys to throw to you. So yeah,
Yeah.
that's what it's all about. At the end of the day, it's about winning games. And when we win games, it's because pitcher and catcher are both on the same page. It won't work any other way.
I love that mentality. All right, my man. I know you're literally squeezing us in here between workouts and stuff at spring training, so we won't keep you too much longer here. Do you have a few minutes here for some listener questions? We can wrap it up here if you need to move along here.
Yeah, I'm okay with a couple questions. I got
Couple
left in
questions.
about 8 minutes.
Okay. We'll make it fast and we'll go from here. So, listener questions. I've got James from Toronto, and he asks, "Hey Chris, who is the best pitcher you've caught and why?"
Whew. I mean, we got some pretty good arms.
You better say
here.
Alek.
Yeah, I wouldn't say. Well, definitely, he's up there for sure. Stuff wise, we got guys that can four seam it really fast, big curveballs, or we guys with hard sinkers, hard sliders, even crafty guys. Ryu, Tommy Malone. We got,
Yeah.
it's a lot of specialties, which is amazing to see in the big leagues because in the minor leagues you see guys with this talent, they just can't execute how they do here. But yeah, Alek, Ryu, Steve Matz, we got some good arms. There's a lot of guys with special stuff here. So yeah, it's going to be an exciting year for Toronto.
It is exciting, man. All right. Next question is from Teresa in Vernon, BC, which is about 4 hours west of Vancouver. She says, "Hey, Chris, congrats on going to big league spring training this year. If you had to pick your biggest moment or the moment that you enjoyed the most in your baseball career, what would that be?"
So, first of all, thank you, Teresa, for congratulating me, and thank you for supporting the Vancouver Canadians, Toronto Blue Jays. So to answer that question, it's a lot of combined moments. Definitely being called up to big league spring training is one of them. It was just like getting drafted all over again.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd still keep my first hit as a professional. It was at Eugene against the Cubs, and guy was throwing 100 miles an hour. I just came from college. I was like, oh my gosh, starters throwing 100. So yeah, swung and missed at the first one about 2 days late. Hit the second one into the dugout, and then he threw the fastball again and a line drive to right. It was, such a surreal feeling to just. I finally got my first professional hit. So yeah,
Nice.
Still looking for the big league hit. That'll be the next one.
Beauty.
Yeah, that's amazing, man. Congrats on that. All right, we'll get this last question in here before you got to take off. It's from Mike in Calgary. So Calgary's Alberta, just above Montana. He says, "Hey, Chris, I actually saw you play in Dunedin back in 2019. How much have you seen the facility there improve over the last 2 years? I hear this new complex is crazy impressive."
Oh, wow. This new complex is amazing. It's amazing. We got everything you need. Hot tubs, cold tubs, full 2-story gym with about anything you need. We got 2 training rooms, 2 big indoor cages. It's just everything you need to be ready to get this team to win a World Series. It's right here. And, there's no excuses. You can put in work from the morning to the night if you really want to.
Amazing. Chris, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us. We really appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, Scott, thank you so much for having me. So excited. So
Absolutely.
excited for this team.